Now, the next application I want to look at is another application demonstrating the reuse of skills and technology. It uses our C++ technologies. The application is built by a small development team in Guildford called Escapist Games, and it's called StarChart. And you can see StarChart actually running away here, showing the next astronomical events that we're likely to see, delivering those in our live tile, promoting the activities that might interest the user for their application, enticing the user to step in and actually review the application. So I'm going to start this up. Now usually this application, I use it predominantly as an AR app. So again, it's aware of my location if my device has those sorts of sensors. It's also aware of orientation. And I can literally look through this app at the night sky and explore what's out there and identify and gain all sorts of information from the application. But with Windows 8, StarChart has addressed a new opportunity. We now have StarChart running on a whole variety of different devices, from iOS through to Android and Symbian and Bada, Windows Phone and Windows 8. But with Windows 8, we now have this enormous spectrum of device. We now have this opportunity where I can sit at home using a desktop machine and plan my viewing for the night, and then I can take a different device potentially out to my telescope or just out into the garden and hold the device up and actually view the night sky through the actual application running on my device. There are a number of really cool things that I want to bring around and show you. One of them is the fact that I can switch back to my application. So it actually provides us with the ability, of course, to zooming in and zooming out. And what you can see is the rich environment that actually, as I move through my mouse, so much easier with a touch screen. You can actually see the constellations being graphically represented as we move through. And actually, again, I can actually move through and perform various searches. Now, I was just actually looking to find the sun, which clearly isn't available today. There it is. Now, what you can see there is some of the graphical capabilities being presented here. This application isn't just written in C and C++. It's actually exploiting our DirectX here in Windows 8 to present incredibly high-quality graphics to the user environment. What you can see here is literally the lens flare as we potentially draw our device towards the sun, and we can move through. Again, I can perform searching, and of course there is only one search you can do in front of a large group of people for an astronomical device, and that of course begins with Uranus, and I can move through and jump in to see Uranus there through the search details, and you can see that we have a whole variety of details presented to us. Now this is interesting because this is a DirectX presentation surface, but this is actually presented using XAML, our markup language for Form UI. So we're actually integrating a whole series of technologies here, the enormous power of DirectX 11, but also the enormously productive power of XAML to present this information. I can also step in here and perform a new tour of Uranus, and as we can move through, we can actually see Uranus presented in its position in the night sky, very high quality graphics. Now, you may actually think for a moment that I started playing a video. I haven't started playing a video. This is actually the camera moving through the 3D world that's being created by the StarChart application. So literally, these are the rendered graphical objects being presented to us in the StarChart world. And we can go on a full tour of the solar system just by exploring these tours. Now, these of course are completely data-driven. So it leads us to this next opportunity that Windows 8 presents, which is roaming while attached to the cloud, utilising cloud services to provide data between different devices, but also to our application environments. And the idea that we can provide custom tours or up-to-date tours to support other activities, maybe even as TV programs streamed from our cloud environment like Azure down to applications like this, so that users can really interact with the application, but in a whole variety of contexts that we actually maybe don't think of at this moment in time, exploring the application. Now the key thing about Escapist Games and the StarChart product is that they're now using Windows 8 and the Visual Studio development environment as a very productive high-end tool for perfecting their application and rebuilding it so that they do have a common code base and high code reuse running across their various devices. Using the Windows 8 platform and its high capabilities means that they're pushing the envelope as they're trying to present these visual aspects to us. And as they're doing that, it also improves the quality of their application right the way down to the low end of the platforms, even when we're talking about other OS platforms, such as the level of functionality and abstraction they can take advantage of. So, StarChart, the Financial Times, and the Sage 50 Accounts Pulse all provide us with some great examples of how applications have come from many different platforms to the Windows 8 environment and enabled those development teams to make use of code reuse where it's been possible, but predominantly been able to use their existing skill sets from native HTML5 and JavaScript through to DirectX and XAML integration to provide us with some rich applications. Now I have one more application to just show you, which is actually written by some Microsoft guys, and I wanted to show you just to actually drive your imagination.